Hello, 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 everybody. Mike Arnold still here and still co founder Pat Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino, who's not here. How is everyone doing? Did you survive the wonderful FOMC day? I am tired. This might be a little shorter live stream. I am actually really tired, but I'm glad it's out of the way. And now we can focus on the rest of the week. And boy, we still got stuff to focus on. By the way, if you were in a cave somewhere, the Fed hiked by 75 basis points. And I know nobody was surprised from this channel. Also, by the way, if you are new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. Keep coming back, leave some comments after the live stream's over, and I guess that's it. I don't need to dwell on that anymore. Tomorrow, let's just because we got to keep rolling on. We got to keep rolling on. Remember, jobless claims 7:30 Central. So that's going to be interesting. The Philly manufacturing index is coming in and some other things related to that. So there's still going to be some things potentially moving. If there's a bigger miss, it could get interesting. So that's where we stand with that. Hey, Waka Waka. You sense a rug pull? Well, do I sense a rug pull? I don't know if I'd sense a rug pull. We were up nice and strong today. The big thing is mega caps, which I said to watch for the mega caps. Big rally in those. Uh, we're still in negative gamma territory. What I'm keeping an eye on now, remember quad witching on Friday, the major strikes for a potential pin. If we sell off 3,700 is like a friggin' brick wall. So I think we have more limited downside, 3,750, and then the two big ones are 3,700 and 3,800. The other, then you got 3,900, which is the more minor one. So it'd take a pretty substantial rally to pin that, but it is possible. If we hold up, I'm going to be watching tomorrow how we trade around 3,800. If we sell off, 3,700 is my target just based off of the gamma and where it can pin. So that's what's interesting. Let's see. Yes, what a day, Sashi. Good evening. Good evening, Anissa. Hello, hello, Wavy. You feel dizzy. It was a little back and forth. Uh, he gave they don't know what they're doing though. If who watched the presser or listened to the presser, there are a lot of things out of our control. We're not going to use our model. We're blah 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 blah. We don't know. It's I don't know what they even pretend. They don't have credibility. Good afternoon. That was fun. It was not dull, Patrick. It was not dull. Scalp trade only in and out, hello, goodbye, and that's one of the better things to do on a Fed day. He had no choice. Inflation soaring to the roof. We need this and more. Well, now, there's debate already raging. Is it 75 or 50? I mean, everybody started before this was cool. Is it 75 or 50? And then 50 in September. Good afternoon. So, what are we watching for? Again, I'm going to get through this a little quicker. Continued rally, keep focusing on those mega caps. By the way, just to show you what I did, using the high and low, we had the first move was breaking down, then the press conference move was breaking up. I used the low to this pausing bar high, little pullback here also. Let me show you what else I did just to help if you're going to try to trade these in the future. Put up the harmonics also straight to that 50% and you get the rotation back up. All right. And you had a little sloppy double though. Then I used the projection harmonics from that same low to high, gave me 38.43 as a target. And it just so happens that it dead stopped at 38.43. And I hate when that happens because it's really hard to get fills if you're resting orders there. But when that stuff like that happens, I generally put an order right in front of it. Just wanted to show you how to do that now for the longer term. If we're going to continue to rally, yes, this does qualify. It is lower probabilities, but when I say lower probabilities, it's still above 60%. So I'm using the conservative targets, but the aggressive. So why it's lower is because when doing all this investigation, when the highs and lows are the same bar, it's lower probability. Now, if we trade back down and test this area, it actually does raise the probabilities if it triggers. But for right now, it looks weird, but I'm going off the conservative target. So above 38.43, we have 39.02, 39.32, 39.62, and I'm really focused on that first target if it does trigger, just because of what I talked about with pinning that strike at 3,900. All right, if you're going to start breaking down, I mean, you almost got to watch a best fit line in here for overnight, but that's sort of what I'm keying off of to watch for the breakdown patterns. If we did, I'd watch for a retest of this low area. But that's about it. It might be quieter going into the rest of the evening. But longer term, well, I mean, we're into that 4-hour rotation zone, so this would trigger beyond the 4-hour rotation zone. And then that first target is also right at the breakdown zone and the daily rotation zone. So that's the next upside move target if we continue with strength going into Friday. Also, cycles moving up. So keep that on the daily. They're still conflicted with the weekly. Weekly's trying to roll over and daily's trying to move up. So weekly does trump it, but if we trigger this double, then I'm going with those probabilities at least through option expiration. All right. There you go for your upside targets, Davey. This market is ridiculous. Can't wait for the next 3-day weekend. That's not till July 4th in this country. So isn't July 4th a Monday, if I remember correctly? So we'll get that longer break. Hello, options 22. Could somebody let me know? I can't call up a calendar right now. Hey, John. I'm glad to see so many wonderful people back here joining me for another live stream. By the way, I forgot to let you know this potential double is off the table. Yesterday went too low. So we don't have another major reversal move. Okay, on there. You still do on the NASDAQ, just barely. By the way, the NASDAQ, you had the double. You had the 4-hour close. I said I was watching for the 4-hour close. This did not come anywhere close to stopping it out. All right, because it didn't hit the first target yet. I'll show you on the 1-hour. You got the... Oh, I actually have to show you on the 15-minute. So you got the first... You did not get this. You got the first target hit. But once you get the first target hit, you got to just raise your harmonics and use the 62.5 on a closing basis. You got the volatility and then spiking up through the final target and then settling down. If it does break down, just keep this about 11.559 just for a quick overnight price action, because then would I be watching for a return to some of these low areas. What are we watching for? A little bigger picture. Just want to keep that up there. So you got to measure this out. And yes, it hit the 75 harmonic. So it's again that lower probability, and it's really ugly. But above 11,794.25, you got 12,000, 12,111, 12,217. You go up there and you see that could possibly take it back to the other side of the daily rotation zone on a follow through. But what's real interesting with the NAS is in order to trigger, it has to really start getting a close. And I would not, again, this needs a 4-hour close because it's right here. Unless you're trying to do something nimble, and if it doesn't hold, you're out. If it tries to break through and then rolls back over, you're out quickly if you're not going to wait for that close. If it rolls down, just keep an eye. 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, 11,794.25, overnight, if you're going to be trading or you're trading the European session, watch for this little prior resistance with the rising rotation zone to become support right in here. So let's just go about 11,518. So let me take off my VWAP from earlier. All right, so that's what I'm keeping an eye on with the NASDAQ, with the Dow. Clean up some of this. I'll clean that up later. With the Dow, yes, same business. There you go. Above 30,999, 31,420, 31,615, 31,841. Where does that sit with the daily? The first target right above the breakdown zone, but right at the daily rotation zone. So if that triggers, that's my first and foremost. And we still have that gap fill play in the E-mini Dow. So please, again, keep that in mind. Come on. Why is everything so slow? If it starts breaking down, pretty much the same as the S&P. I'm just watching this best. This is not a properly drawn trend line. It's a best fit line, but that's what I'm keeping an eye on. Especially if we test it and then break below about this 30,443, then I'll watch for a retest of this low area. What else do we have going off? Crazy market. Why are we going up? I don't know. I mean, I've heard there have been people talking about stuff all the time. It's why I said I'm not smart enough. I just got to trade the patterns. And I showed you the stuff, and we had the double still on the NASDAQ, which was completely tradable, and that full target hit. And I showed you the way it does in the S&P. Do I know? Why are people, if we're going into, a slowdown, why are people piling into consumer discretionary? You tell me. Did you see the Fed? Did you see this? This is the Atlanta Fed GDP now came out today, and it's going to be again coming out tomorrow. But this is their estimate for the second quarter. Where does this line sit? It's back at 0. Now we can't go off. I mean, they're hiking. They're talking about strength and everything else. Look, their own models say this could tip into negative again. We already last quarter we had a negative print. So they're talking out their butt because even their own models say it's going into a major slowdown. Now, what's interesting is it's not the official definition anymore, but you get 2 quarters of negative GDP. It used to be hey, we're in a recession. So they could even be, with second quarter GDP, if it does come out negative, it's based off the old models, a recession. And they're not even getting all their hikes yet. No, Bob is busy. He'll be here tomorrow. But there's nothing shocking. I mean, I have the price action for you. And the why doesn't matter. Why is stuff into consumer discretionary? I couldn't tell you. If we're going into a slowdown, you're hiking rates, the consumer's slowing down. Why is consumer discretionary pumped up? No idea. But you got to trade what is. And people are saying, well, consumer discretionary, and they're going to start they're going to start cutting the rates again. But they just come up with every silly reason. Okay? It doesn't matter. People, it's like, sometimes I get up in the morning and they're like, market's up, and I'm reading the reason, and it's completely ridiculous. It has nothing to do with why the markets are up. But it's like, hey, well, that's why we've decided the markets are up or the markets are down. Don't get caught up in that stuff. The Russell, pretty much same difference. This one's really ugly though, because you got to go off this. It's actually verging on not being correct, but I'm just going to use the targets if we rally. 1779, 1793, 1806. There it is on the 4-hour. That's beyond the 4-hour rotation zone. You're into an advanced clear path. That might even be a simple clear path. It doesn't really matter. And the first target takes you to the rotation zone. And even if you got through all 3 targets, it just take you into the bigger rotation zone. So that's where that sits. We got this rally back in the DAX. And I'm still focused on a continued gap fill play in that. Crude, by the way, crude 4 hour. This triggered it, and it came back down, hit the first target, but not a strong reversal pattern yet. But first target hit in crude. And closing, interesting enough, back above the daily rotation zone so far. So if it starts breaking down, still watching for that second and third targets closer to the 50, because you see could get a pullback there. But right now, it's already fulfilled that first target and closing above the rotation zone. So I will start watching for a potential bottoming pattern forming. Natural gas first and second targets hit. Gold bouncing back up here. Gold yet confirming the double and then triggering and hitting the first target. I'm watching for that continued follow through on there. Notes, really strong rally here. Super strong rally here. And people say, well, why are notes rallying? Why are yields going down if they're hiking? Because, again, it's anticipatory going out farther. Do we have anything yet? What I'm going to watch for is if we roll back over and possibly form an inverse head and shoulders. That's what I'm watching for. Don't have anything concrete yet. If it just continues rallying, my next target is about 116.24. Dollar index. Remember I talked about this. This spiked up too high, so it cannot be a head and shoulders, but it can still be a very sloppy double. Which is, I don't know if that triggered. I'd have to look closely at it. It does look like it triggered. 104.55. Close was 104.56. No, not officially. But it is confirmed 104.09, 103.86, 103.63. That's what we're watching for on the downside now on the pullback. And that would reconnect it with the daily rotation zone. And by the way, the bigger double still is in play. VIX coming back down. I mean, this was the other sign that you got the rally on this afternoon. Jeez, my mouse is acting really funny. When it started breaking down, during the presser, that was when you got this sustained little rally to the upside, which really reinforced that double on the NASDAQ. So tomorrow, again, now key levels are about 28 and back to the upside. If we get back above 31.50, that's where you get to start worrying. Bitcoin got that little sympathy rally, but this was not a strong bounce still. There's a lot of trouble still in the crypto world. At least the rally has helped it a bit. If it can put on a stronger rally, the main area I'm watching now is about 24.7. Tesla was another one I said watch that mega caps. We got the gap fill play today. Tomorrow, we still have a little minor gap fill. This didn't fill it full complete gap, and you have the right overhead, the rotation zone. So on a continued rally with the markets tomorrow, if mega caps hold up still, that's my next upside target for Tesla. Let's see. Can we look at Facebook, please? Oh, I keep forgetting they didn't change their symbol. Is on above about 172.40 for the gap fill. That's the only thing I have on the bullet, and a reconnection with the daily rotation zone. That's the only thing I have right now. I trade Oh, you guys are talking back and forth there again. All right, what else? I'm just thinking if there's anything else I have to go over with these stocks. I mean, we had Amazon still got some upside potential, not the full gap fill yet. So that's another one reconnecting on a continued rally. Still that one. Nvidia, not the full gap fill yet. So these will still be things that are in play for the full gap fills. Boy, I'm sorry, guys. I'm feeling really a little worn out. It's been a long day. You want NIO? I mean, longer term, you still have that in play. Nothing's. I mean, it's making the good thing if you're bullish on NIO is it's making higher lows and it looks to be trying to break out the higher high. So as long as you don't get, and by the way, this is a double top, but it's. I'm just putting this on and see. Second target, I'd go with conservative unless that goes higher because that's within that candle body. So as long as you don't get that close back below 1584, the next targets are 2167, 2278, and 2398. If you get the close above 2398, you roll into a bigger pattern. That's your thing. So that's your key. That's your key line in the sand, William. Right there. Higher. So far you came off the bottom. Could you also say that this was a sort of sloppy inverse head and shoulders? Just for people who are trying to learn it? Shoot. And there you go. So it's already pretty much hit that first target. And your next target, if I'd be using these targets instead of the harmonics at this point. So revising that, you've hit this first target, which is stop reduction, but now 22 and 2357. It's shoulder, head, shoulder, and it reverses this move, so it is completely valid. There you go. So that one's a pretty decently formed inverse head and shoulders. I know there are some people trying to learn this pattern on there. All right. What else did I miss? Didn't think I missed anything else. So that's our play set up, at least for overnight, and we can still fine tune stuff tomorrow. We do have these potential doubles, albeit a bit sloppy. And with that, I'll take a couple of these NASCARs, and that's it. SIDU. I mean, it's definitely squeezing. You get the follow through again. It's these fall into the junk things, and those are going to get squeezed. I talked about the junk getting squeezed. That does not sound right, but that the junk stocks getting squeezed. So you want your next major target. Look at that right up here. If it continues, and again, if the NASDAQ continues to run, yeah, you've got some more upside potential. 538 is the next minor target. Then the next major target, if it can do a big squeeze, would be $8. And I don't trade stuff like this. AERC, AeroClean Technology. That one's a lot sloppier. This one's a lot sloppier. I just want to see where this ran into. And these are just, see, it's already hit that harmonic. So if you continue, but this one, I don't see as much, don't see as much upside on this one. Potential doesn't mean it can't happen in stocks like this. 26.44, 29.19, but I'd be more concerned about a pullback on that one. With that, you are welcome, Brian. So we should all have our game plan at least for overnight, and then we'll come back tomorrow after the unemployment numbers and help fine tune it. Okay? So then we'll get some more information with this overnight trading, if stuff's going to hold up, how the European session plays out, and that will give us a roadmap potentially through option expiration Friday, which we should have some more volatility. So again, please tune in tomorrow. We'll start getting more clarification and help for the rest of the week. Again, we got to let this price action now settle and see how we trade with the European session and overnight tonight. With that, I thank everybody for being here. I'll be back again tomorrow, 8 a.m. Central Time. Thank you for tuning in. Bye for now.